Where's that playing from? That's from my phone. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with Matt. I'm going to jump right in here. I've got an awesome guest, Miss Breezee Morrison. How are you, Breezee?
Good morning. Aloha.
Aloha. That's right. You are from Hawaii, yes?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Originally from Hawaii, and I moved to Arizona, kind of lose count, about 18 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Yes. So, Arizona is now my home. Love it here. Now my immediate family moved from Hawaii here too. I would say for me, but it's really for the grandchildren.
Wait, grandchildren?
Their grandchildren.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I,
I'm like,
I tend to step ahead. I'm
I
like,
don't buy
no.
it. Okay,
How are you?
so you know what? I'm happy to be alive. I'm very
Same.
grateful, grateful to God for today, and I'm excited to be
Yes.
meeting with you and hopefully talking
Oh,
about some amazing things, and we can help lift up some of the really awesome causes you have going on.
thank you. Thank you.
So
I
you've
appreciate it. I'm honored.
so thank you. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. So you've got a pretty amazing story, some big obstacles you've overcome, and now you're using those
Yes,
things for good and really connecting into God and using Him in your life. I'd love to talk about that a little bit.
definitely. Yes, I wear many hats. So I originally moved from Hawaii to Arizona um, to flee a domestic violence relationship. So they either stay in Hawaii on an island, which is kind of hard to dodge, the relationship, or move to Arizona with my godmother, who is a pastor. And I was like, I was not ready for church life at the time. I was not ready. But God had a different plan. Now I'm married to a pastor. I did not see that coming. There was nowhere on my radar.
That's unbelievable. So how long were you in that abusive relationship for?
About 3.5 years.
Wow. And
Yeah.
were you married there, or was it like a dating
No,
situation?
no children, no marriage. Just a just a boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I'm so happy and grateful that you got through all that and you moved
Yes.
forward and now you have an organization. I'd love to give you an opportunity to talk about that.
Yes, I have an organization called Confidence is Beauty, where I am aiding women of all ages really to help them get into the workforce. Because one of the main things that's taken from when is isolation in abusive relationship. Isolation, take their independence. And a lot of when you're financially dependent on your abuser, it makes it harder if you have children. I didn't have children, but still, that was my dynamic.
Yeah.
So I've worked with New Life Center as well, which is an organization out here in Arizona, and I've volunteered there, and I've been to their on their campus where they house some of their children and women, and there's just an understanding that you have with the struggle. It's not even just the environment, because you can be removed from the environment, but then you have to change your mind frame.
Mm.
You got to you gotta plan. You need hope, something that'll pull you forward, because otherwise they go back
Yeah.
because they think there's nothing else.
Sure.
So that's where Tutu Shave Ice came out. It was as a creative, you have different avenues, and then you just pray to God that He brings it all centered in.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted freedom for my family, financial freedom for my family as well. But then God connected me to someone that could bring everything as a whole. And her name is Dr. Sharon Anderson. And she said, you know what, Breezy, you can work to shave ice and with Confidence is Beauty and create a workforce for women coming out of domestic violence so they can get their financial freedom. And then, you know, any teenagers that want to build a resume, they can come to Shave Ice, build a resume. And then it's a fun environment. You know, it's Hawaii. You know, I got the Hawaii vibe going, and so I'm excited about it.
That's beautiful, and what a wonderful like, yeah, you've found a way to bring a couple different causes together, and then
Yes.
you work with your husband actively, right, in the pastoral work
Yes,
now.
yes. So we have a church called Crown Glory Ministries, and I co-pastor with him. So even that, it's pretty exciting because you know my husband is so great. He's so inspiring, and being that I didn't grow up in church, I knew God on a walk with Him spiritual level, but sometimes my Bible knowledge was kind of like eh, and he has all this Bible knowledge, and every time he talks, I'm like, oh, tell me more. And then so when we study, he just kind of opens me up to not just the present that I'm reading, but the past and how it connects. So um, God knew what He was doing. God
Yeah.
knew what He was doing. I was actually on a 40-day fast. I met him on a 40-day fast. I was fasting for a husband, a godly husband. I said, okay, Breezy, you make really bad choices when you choose guys. Let's try something new.
Yeah.
And you know, I was, I was, I was celibate for 2.5 years. That was one of the things I feel like I need to say that because I feel like sometimes we confuse ourselves when we are in the dating when we want companionship. So I you know, God put me on 40-day fast. He said, you're almost there, because I was getting weary. I was just like, I think I'm just gonna be by myself. It's not gonna happen for me. So he put me on 40-day fast. It was hard. It was hard. And I met my husband at the last week of my fast. And it was his story is way better than mine and how we met.
Well, maybe
I
we'll have him.
love
Maybe we'll have
listening
him
to
on
his
the show one of these days. But so let's hear
Oh,
your perspective though. So where were you when you met him?
I was visiting his family church.
Okay.
So it was a revival, and it was funny because I was supposed to get a job somewhere else, and it didn't work out. And so if I had that job, if I got that job, I would have missed that 1 week revival. And I was like, yeah, you know, God, you gave this job to me. I don't know what happened. So my godmother was like, just come with me to church. Now you can come to the revival. I was like, okay. So I'm there, and my husband, he's a pastor, so he's all over the church. He's playing bass, he preaches, he's just like, he's everywhere. So I walk in and he's playing the bass, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's kind of cute. But I'm like, we kind of look at each other, but we're like not trying to because it's church, you know?
Yeah.
And and my godmother was like, why don't you, at the time he was Minister Oliver, he's like, why don't you talk to Minister Oliver about getting you a job at the airport? I was like, yeah. So I talked to him. In his words, he said, when I called his name, I said, Minister Oliver. He turned around and he said he saw himself put a ring on my finger.
Wow.
That was his vision. And I was like, no. So we went outside. He's asking me questions about, you know, like a pre-interview. But then I was like, is this minister hollering at me? Because I was like, he's asking me questions, but it's like professional, personal line. And then, but we hit it off really quick, really quick. He was pretty persistent. I kind of pushed him away a little because I wasn't sure. I was on a fast. I wasn't sure. I wanted to be careful. I was scared. So, and we hit it off pretty quick. Life happened fast with us.
Yeah.
Um, we met in August of '03, got married August of '04, and within that first year of marriage, my daughter's a honeymoon baby, and we were just like, we bought our first house, everything just took off.
Wow.
So we were both ready. We were both ready for life. We were both ready for companionship.
That's amazing. What a great story. The story of when I met my wife is very similar. I kind of turned away from some of the choices I was making, turned to the Bible, and I was very naive to a lot of it. And I kind of fasted, same idea. I just gave it up to the Lord, and it's amazing what happens when you do that.
Yes.
And you just let him take over. And I swear he just dropped my wife down like an angel out of the sky. And I was like, I've never met a girl like her before. This is weird.
Yeah.
And I had a similar vision to your husband.
Your wife truly is an Asian. You're
Asian,
he's an angel for sure. I know. I'm sure. I get overly excited sometimes.
So I'm very curious, and then we'll get to some acting questions here in a second. But I'm very curious because one of the questions you had for me was, what is my life's dream, right? And in some ways I'm already living my dream in a lot of ways. But to take it further into maybe say goals, what I'm really looking to do is travel the world with my family and my team.
That's awesome.
To inspire and impact people on a massive scale. That's really what we want to do.
Awesome.
So and we are all committed to this cause. And
that's awesome.
We teach listening. I'm writing a book called The Best Listener in the Room. And at the end of the day, I believe listening is a superpower. And
yeah, absolutely.
And this is listening to your body language, listening to your words, listening to your thoughts, and really listening to that spirit. I mean, that's sort of the end, like the big kind of ending of this book, is to realize that nobody's a best listener in the room. There's only one best listener in the room that's ever walked the earth. But anyway, long story short, I'm very obsessed with listening, and I think this is a big deal when it comes to something like domestic violence or something like everyone, but women especially, when they're feeling that sense of danger and trusting that instinct, because the instinct is in there sort of telling you what to do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And like you said, you were in this for
it was there.
three years, right? Yeah, it was there. So what advice do you have for those girls out there? I'll give you a moment right now. If somebody's watching, what should they be listening for? I mean, what's the cue, the sign, and what's a very good first step?
Well, I think the first step really is you teach people how to treat you. And if you don't know what that is, you don't know how you should be treated, you leave yourself vulnerable. I think it's really getting to, it doesn't matter even if your environment may not be the best, we still push to know what that is, getting to know yourself. And one of the signs you'll read, isolation is number one. They'll try to isolate you away from your family, from your friends, maybe not want to be around your friends all the time, just want to keep you to yourself. And so we might find it cute and maybe, oh, he just loves me and just wants to be around me all the time. And that's fine. But then when it's repetitive, where, he just does not want to come around, want to be anywhere else, and maybe not even want to bring you anywhere else, and just wants you privately, on a consistent level, that could be a warning, a first warning.
Yeah.
And I have to think, at one point, I saw him lose his temper, and it was something simple, and it was beyond just I know we may have our bad days, but he got physical and I think we were moving in a moving truck, and I don't know what happened, but he started punching the wheel of the car. And I was like in the car like this, like I was like, and it was a U-Haul, so it wasn't even ours.
Yeah.
And just the no respect for what's around you,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but truly just, if you when you feel those signs, just don't be afraid to talk to somebody close to you. Having people close to you that can kind of, you know, when I met my husband, one of the first things I did was bring him around people that's closest to me. So they can kind of, because sometimes you're just bedazzled, you're just smitten. And sometimes you need a different outlook and to kind of see, like, hey, what do you think? What do
Yeah.
you think? And I didn't really have that when I met the past.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have that. I didn't have that accountability.
That makes a lot of sense. So, and then, my thoughts here, and I've never been through what you've been through, but just,
Hmm.
when I speak to people and try to help them with certain things, I always say the second you feel that thing, the second you feel it,
Hmm.
because like you get this sort of
Yeah.
instinct. Do not be polite.
Yes,
R-
that's good.
Run the other way.
Yes.
It's okay, and if you're wrong, bummer, you were not polite,
Right.
but
Right. Right.
but you don't want to stop in the parking lot and try to be nice to the person. If you
Right.
get that like weird feeling going through
Right.
you, there's something to that. I mean, it's
Right.
that is a
You want to
God-given
set a standard.
instinct. Yes, yes. And
Yes.
and you start to tell yourself, I listen to my instincts. I listen to my instincts.
Right.
I listen to my instincts.
Right.
And what
Right.
I think and feel is good enough and it's correct and I have to
Right.
trust that, right?
Right. And we both have daughters, so we want, them to know that intuition,
Yes.
you know? Yeah, because we don't want I I don't want this cycle you know, to go beyond. And that's a prayer that I've had. When I decide to have children, I'm like, oh, this stops here. It
Yeah.
doesn't go beyond,
Right.
because sometimes you can kind of see the patterns, that may have happened in the past. And when you talk to family, then you realize it's like, hey, this is maybe we've been accepting a little bit, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
and even if we turned an eye to some things, there's some things we probably could have stopped. And I said, nope, this stops here. It's not going anywhere else.
That's a big deal what
So
you're saying. I really, really believe in that. This idea of you can stop this ancestral sin thing when there's this
right,
thing that happens and you
right,
have to cut off the branch and
right,
say, we don't,
right,
our people don't do this anymore. We're moving
right,
forward.
right, right, absolutely. And it was a process, as a mom. Now it's just a new beginning. And how do you set that path, when this is what you've known for so long, and how do you set the path forward? And truly, and that's where my husband is very instrumental too, because he doesn't have the same past that I have, and he grew up in church all his life.
Yeah.
And then here I am, just making his life exciting.
But you needed each
So
other in such perfect ways.
yes, absolutely, absolutely, yes. Well, where I'm very much a creative. So when I come to him and I said, I was thinking, I have an idea. He was like, oh Lord, now what she's gonna get into now, you know? And he's just my stable force.
Yeah.
He's just my stable force, because he's had things very consistent throughout his life, and my dad was military, so we kind of moved around a little. And so he had this, so we aid each other in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Where he's not ready to move, I'm ready to take 10 steps forward.
Yeah.
And when I need to kind of think about some things, he's like, wait, let's just stop and think about it for a second. So yes, we complement each other very well.
That's awesome. All right, so tell me a little bit about your acting now. Where are you at in your journey as an actress?
Well, in quarantine, it has given me the opportunity to tap into more acting in a different spectrum, different platform.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to get some um, classes in that I normally probably could have. I'm naturally an introvert.
Really?
And yes, a lot of people don't think that. And um, I followed your wife's journey. She's mentioned an introvert, and I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, you can still be in this industry and be an introvert, And so that was inspiring for me. So right now, I am leaving it open. Does that sound very ambitious? I don't know.
No, that sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah, I know you you landed a job through us at one point when we
Yes.
cast
Oh
you in
my
something. And
yes.
that was really cool. And I liked what you wrote. You said something about for the first time you were yourself and then you get the gig,
Yes.
right?
Oh yes. For the past year, I felt like a professional auditioner. I
Yeah.
just was just auditioning and auditioning. I wasn't landing any gigs. And the one time I get to be myself and I
And and
landed
and,
the
and
gig.
why was that? Why were you able to be yourself?
I feel like I went into auditions trying to be who they wanted me to be.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, what? So this is what they want. What do I think they want from me?
Mhm.
Instead of thinking, what can I deliver? What is my version of what they can request it, but what is my version of it? And I've even listened to your a lot of your teaching. I follow you a lot
Yeah.
because your energy is high. You're very positive, and your family is just so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I just great vibes, just great vibes. And I'm addicted to that. I like good vibes. And I was inspired by that to come in. You said, the sense they were looking for real people and
Mm.
just tell your story.
Yeah.
And that's something that I could do.
Right.
I knew that. I knew my story. I took the time to get to know myself. I knew my story. I could deliver that. And I didn't really think I got it because the callbacks took a while,
Yeah.
you know. So I was like, I guess no news. I didn't get it. And then you called. I was like, oh my gosh. My husband was ecstatic. He was just ecstatic for me.
That's
And
amazing.
when we were on set, I went up to my husband and I said, when God gave me this business, I had no idea he would bring me here. And because on set, I mean, the vibes go through the casting because even on set, we had Hawaiian music playing. Everyone was just so happy. Everyone's so nice. It's not everyone thinks on set you might, they're standing there with a whip or something. No, they were so nice.
Well, let me
They're
tell
so
you,
nice.
some sets are like that. I got to give a shout out to our ad agency that we worked with, Reister. They're incredible. Those people over there are
Oh,
amazing, and they do create
they
an
are.
environment from beginning to end of their process
Yes,
where their
yes.
commercials are they're an experience for everybody, for their clients, for the actors, for us as
Hmm.
casting directors. I mean, they really find a way to create the complete package because they are trying to help create those vibes for their clients. And
Yes,
so,
yes.
yeah, I've got nothing but great things to
Great
say about
job.
Reister. Yeah,
Great
they're
job.
they're amazing. So
Yes.
let's talk really quick then about acting. I'm going to tie you into this really fast before I give you a chance to ask some questions of me. Um,
Okay.
but so I want you to now take this, and I think a lot of people out there can learn from this moment, right? So
Hmm.
in your mind, you were told because of the specific job this was that you get to be
Hmm.
yourself.
Yes.
So how are we going to use that information and leverage it for other roles that come up, other things you audition for?
But one of the things that when I watched your online acting class is thinking ahead of, because sometimes I would be too present, and when I'm too present, sometimes I get in my head.
Okay.
And then when you kind of you set it forth, and kind of see yourself in the position. That's something I didn't do.
Mm.
That's something I didn't do at first. Um, and just kind of trusting yourself and knowing that, you know, you can, you're, because when you get in your head, sometimes you just never know which way
Oh
you go.
yeah.
You can go into this rabbit hole
Yeah,
of
no, it's crazy. Well,
coming up with all kind of scenarios.
so here's my advice for you. Here's what I think.
I'm
And
ready.
you kind of hit it already. You kind of hit it on the head earlier. But so
Hmm.
what I want you to think about now, for every role that comes up from now on,
Hmm.
you're gonna read the description, and you're gonna discover what is it that they're looking for. Okay,
Hmm.
not who. What are they looking for, and
That's awesome.
who are they selling to? Okay, so if
Mm,
you can figure out who this commercial is
yeah.
supposed to be talking to, then you figure out this, then you ask yourself this question. They've asked me to audition. Why me? Why my age?
Right.
Why
Right.
female? Why
Right.
did they open it up to my ethnicity?
Right.
Why are they giving me a shot at this? Why?
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out why they're choosing me to be potentially talking to whoever I might be potentially talking to.
Right.
Then if you figure out who they're trying to reach, like you really get it. So
Uh-huh.
for instance, you could audition for, let's say, a Nissan commercial,
Hmm.
and the ad might require you to be talking to 16-year-old girls. So you may be
Oh,
coming from a
yeah.
motherly perspective and you want to reach them. And then they're
Right.
going to go to their parents and ask them, "Hey, can I buy this car?" Or when I turn 16, I want this car. The same company, Nissan, could be having you talk to moms, could have you trying to reach
Right.
dads, and you have to
Right.
look and see, what is that? Now get this. When you talk to your daughter, do you
Hmm.
talk differently than when you talk to your husband?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So once you figure out this formula, you go, which version of me? It's still me, but which
Right.
version of
Right.
me do they need so that I can
That's
help them
very
deliver
good
their
advice.
message?
That's awesome. Because that pulls it way beyond what I was thinking.
Well, the cool thing is, but you hit it on the head, because you have to go in there as you. It's got to be you.
Right.
You're in every
Right.
character you play from now on. So you're not
Right.
trying to be something you're not. You're just
Right.
trying to bring the
Exactly.
version of you that
Right.
fits the commercial.
Absolutely.
And
That's awesome.
you want to go from a
Yes.
loving, giving perspective too. So if you can come from
Yes.
that area, it has nothing to do with you landing a job, money, fame.
Right.
You have to
Right.
say, how may I serve this company?
Right.
How
Right.
may I use my skill set to help them get their message out? And that's why I really believe
That's
that you have
good.
to find a way to morally connect with the company. And if you
Yeah.
can't, you shouldn't audition.
Right. Right. That's good. That's good advice.
Once you go in
Cheers
there,
to that.
you're welcome. Yeah. So once you walk in with that mentality, though, it takes all the pressure off, because it's not about you; it's about
Yes.
them.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. What questions you got for
Like
me?
that question. Well, one thing I'm always amused of is when I'm inspired by people and what they're doing, I always want to know what their beginning was like. How did you get to starting during studio with your family? Did was the studio first or was the family first?
Yeah. So I was running a little theater out in Glendale, and then my wife was dropped into my lap.
Awesome.
And this happened, and it was like, I was changing my ways, and I just was like, you know what, this way that we're going is not for me. I need to do something else, and I need to do it with this woman. I just knew it. So before I
Oh.
asked her to marry me, like, I had already known. So I sold that company, my ownership
Hmm.
stake in that company, and we started
Uh-huh.
this company. And it was myself, my wife, my cousin Brian, who's here, you met earlier. Say hello, Brian. And my sister Kimberly, and we sat down in my parents' house, and
Hmm.
um, and we did our first, like, meeting notes. and we took notes, and we were
Wow.
like, we're gonna make a company. And it was January 1st, 2007, and I was living in my parents' house at the time. We
Mhm.
opened the business out of my dad's doctor's office.
That's awesome.
So we just used his little lobby, and that was our entire
Uh-huh.
studio. For the most part, anybody that came in, they could feel those happy vibes. And
Right.
we would do sold out shows, which was 30 people, standing room only in this tiny space. We
Mhm.
packed the classroom. I mean, we really like did it all out. But we'd have to wait till they closed, and then we'd have to take
Yeah.
down all the doctor stuff and put up a couple acting things, and then we would have our
Right.
our our class. But what's interesting is some people never even walked in the room. Some people showed
Hmm.
up and they were like, they just would judge the place, because, oh, like this doesn't feel
Mm,
right, legitimate.
absolutely. Yes.
But it's
Yes.
it's funny because if you think about it, like, where's the best food? It's always the hole in the wall place. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
I know.
so
I
pe-
know that for
yeah.
sure.
So people didn't but anyway, despite all that, we outgrew the location very quickly. So within 8 months, we then went out and got a place where we were renting out of a different friend of mine, his location. So we did like a sublease for a couple years down on McDowell,
Uh-huh.
and then we moved up here. I think it was about 7 or 8 years ago. We had my wife and I by then had a house in this neighborhood, and we loved the neighborhood. So we decided our neighborhood needed a theater. So we brought our business to us
That is
essentially.
awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And
See, that goes well, I'm a small business owner and there's a lot of beginnings. So I always, you want to hear other people's stories.
yeah,
And it just kind of gives you that push to, sometimes things does get rough in the beginning, but you could just keep pushing forward
it's
and
never going
look
to
at you
be
guys now.
it's never going to be easy. Like right now it's not
Yes,
easy. Last year wasn't easy. The first
yes,
year wasn't easy, but it's so rewarding, and the benefits of it on the other side are so great, and the people you get to
yes,
meet and be with. I mean, my
yes.
cousin here, he's been with me since he was like 10. And we've been
Mhm.
we've been rocking this business together, and now he is a public speaker. He has an
That is
incredible
awesome.
life story. He talks to kids. He goes to churches. As a matter of fact, you guys might want to have him out to your church. He's like an
That's
incredible speaker that connects with teenagers, like it's like on like a
absolutely.
massive level. It's really
That
cool.
and that's not easy.
No, but he's got the gift for it. It's crazy.
I have teenagers right now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is awesome to hear. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yes, I met your cousin. Yes, you always put him up front when right before an audition
Yeah,
to
because
kind
I'm
of get
smart.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets our
you
he's
put
like
your you
it's
put your
like
best face forward. You gotta be smart about things.
it's like he looks at the crowd and see who's the most nervous. Like, how you doing? How you doing? I was like, I'm nervous. He's like, why are you nervous? You're going into an audition. Just deliver it. You're good. And then he pulls it out of you, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, he is absolutely incredible. Um, so you were asking here. It says, where was I when the idea to start the studio came about? And that was
Yes.
that was really just, I was at the other company, and it was a matter of like things were not feeling right. It wasn't
Yes.
the direction I wanted to go, and then it was just very clear, sort of like you and your husband. I was
Yes.
ready to start
Yes.
life now, like real life,
Yes. Yes.
Um, so this was no longer going to be a hobby. This was going to be like, I'm all in on this thing.
Right. Right.
Now,
And that's
now, now.
awesome.
By the
That's
way, I
amazing.
did though for 2.5 years have 3 extra jobs just to pay everybody here, and
That's
my tax returns are in the negative
yes.
for the first 3 years.
That's
So
good that you mentioned that.
yeah, and it's okay. Like, I want to inspire everybody.
Yes.
Like, it's okay if
Yes.
you're following your dream. I call it I
Yes.
call it the fun tax. I'm like, I get to do what I love, so I got to pay that
Mhm.
tax.
Yes.
Maybe I got to
Yes.
work a little extra. Maybe I got to do a little more than the next guy, but I get to
Right.
run my own schedule. I get to do certain
Right.
things. So I'm
Right.
what I'm doing is not better than what you're doing. It's just different.
It just
And I
right.
understand that you pay a tax in a different way, and I pay a tax
Right.
in my way.
Exactly.
And
Right.
so whatever fits you best, you should go with that. But if you're inspired to like start your own thing, do it, but don't expect
Yes.
it to be easy.
No, it's not. Yes, I am a natural entrepreneur. I figured that out. I figured it out. And my husband is not. So we're so opposite, but yet we complement each other. It's just the weirdest thing. Um, so I was like, I wish I was more corporate because it's just such a great safety net, but I'm not. I'm not. I need the space to be creative,
Yeah.
and entrepreneurship does that for me. And I before this, I when my children was little, I have my own in-home childcare for 10 years.
Mm.
So, and the business was successful. It was just time for it to close. It's time for us to have our house back.
Yeah.
But that's when I figured, yeah, I figured out that I'm best working for myself.
Sure. And some people are like that and some people aren't. It's sort of that easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. So next question you got for me.
I think you answered that. What is your life dream? I know it kind of coincided. What advice do you have for dreamers? And that's kind of what you said before. Just if you're gonna go out, it's not going to be easy.
Right.
But that's my words. But do you have anything else beyond that? Maybe not even just acting.
Yeah, and I try to reach people beyond the acting realm too. So the idea here really is, I think we're all dreamers at the end of the day. I don't think it's like we can't really pin ourselves as like we get to be the dreamers. I think everyone's got a dream, and so my advice is dream big, dream bigger than you think, and then work your way backwards from there. So however big your dream is, multiply it by 10. Okay, and then let that be out there somewhere, because if you don't hit that, no big deal. Maybe you'll hit the actual dream. Cool. And then systematically though start working toward it day in and day out, and then hold yourself accountable. That this is the thing I think most people miss is they dream without accountability. And if I've set a dream and I have ambitions and I've got goals, and I don't tell myself, hey Matt, you didn't actually do the thing to get to your dream today. Right. If you don't do that, then you'll never correct, and you'll just always be this dreamer and never someone who's pursuing their dream, really, right?
That's good.
So I'll give you an example of this morning. I got to hold myself accountable for this. So I get up very early, and last night I was up late, and I was going to sleep in, and I'm on my way out the door, and then Joey, who's Brian's cousin, who also works here, he's like an amazing editor. He's like, hey, you going to get up at 3 like you said? And I was like, I'll probably get up at like 5. And he's like, oh, okay, you said 3. And I was like, I thought for a second, and I'm like, I'll do 3. And then he's like, all right. So then I did, right? So I got maybe 2.5 hours of sleep. I wake up at 3 this morning. I come in. I know I'm crazy, but here's the deal. I've got big dreams, big ambitions, and I sleep at other times. I nap every day. But here's the point. I get up at 3. I'm in the studio by 3:30. That gives me 3 hours before you and I are gonna get ready for our show.
Wow.
During those 3 hours, I got stuck in trying to do like Google Analytics and looking up our websites and different things and trying to make our business better. But that's not what that time is for. My morning time is for my writing of my book. My morning time is for my goal set, my specific dreams. And I failed to be disciplined and jump. And I know better. When I don't jump into it right away, I can let myself get distracted because I've got ADD and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm like, well, I'm going to do this thing. And next thing you know, 3 hours go by. So at the end of that, I'm sad, actually. That's the truth.
Yes.
But if I lied to myself and said, hey, you did it. You got closer to your dream. Just because you woke up, like, no, that's not a win, Matt. That's a loss. You didn't get sleep and you didn't get closer to your dream. You need to get better tomorrow. So that's the idea, is like set the dream, but then hold yourself accountable to these little tiny decisions, because they really add up over time.
Yes. Well, you don't look like you only have 2 hours of sleep. You just look like you're awake and vibrant and ready for the world today.
That's because I love life. I mean, I'm so excited to be awake. Why wouldn't I be?
I would not look like that with 2 hours of sleep, though.
Okay, what's next? Awesome. What do you got for me next?
how can we prepare for future auditions due to COVID?
Okay. What kind of device are you on right now? Are you on a phone or a computer?
I I am on my iPad.
Or your iPad? Okay, pick up your iPad.
Yes, I got it propped.
Great. Do you have a little tagline for Tutu Shaved Ice?
A tagline for Tutu Shave Ice, where you can experience the Hawaiian spirit.
Perfect. Okay, good. So now I want you to be holding the iPad sort of up, kind of moving around, and now I want you to just talk to the audience as if you're doing a Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice commercial, and just be talking about people like, hey, like life is going good, and then you make sure you get to your tagline, and then there's your commercial. Go ahead.
Aloha, welcome to Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice. This is Breezee Morrison, and I just
Okay,
want to
pause.
welcome
Good.
you.
Now you need to look at the iPad in the iPad camera, not at yourself.
Not at myself. You can tell when I'm looking at myself.
That's right. Do it again.
Aloha, welcome to Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice. This is Breezee Morrison. We want to take you around and give you the Hawaiian experience, the Aloha experience. Come and visit Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Have your
So here's the idea. That right there, practice that, because that's the future. This is what we're teaching in our acting classes right now, partly because we have to, and partly because we're never going to not teach it anymore, because of COVID, a brand new genre of acting has been born. Do not underestimate this right now. Acting on your phone.
This will stay.
This idea of the Zoom conversation is something we all know very intimately now. It's not weird. And so commercials will be done this way because people relate to it. Movies will be done this way. TV shows will be done this way. Like this is here to stay. Now it's not here to stay like it's the only option, but it will be one of the options. And once people really figure it out to the next level, sort of like we did in our acting classes, when the rest of the industries figure this out, where they like, oh, we can still do a commercial. We can still do, like, when they start thinking about what they can do, the creativity starts to flow. So you need to be on the cutting edge, on the front lines of learning the techniques that it takes.
Oh, absolutely.
So one of the things I really want to help businesses with is helping like salespeople and HR people communicate with people over Zoom, because it's one of these deals where people get so nervous they're not used to seeing themselves on camera, right? Like I want to help with that, but actors have to understand. You now need to understand camera angles. You have to be your own cinematographer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is there any equipment that we maybe can invest in? I invested in a backdrop.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I'm really happy about. I'm very happy about, because there, I have little plugs everywhere in the house, and you trying to veer away from that. I have a ring light. Is there anything?
Yeah, just a simple light, a simple stand. I mean, that all is fine. It's really going to be so this is a new genre of acting, but at the end of the day, acting is acting, and I always say that. So if you want to learn voiceover acting, guess what? Learn how to be a good actor. If you want to learn film acting, guess what? Be a good actor. Like acting is acting. It's either you're truthful or you're not truthful. That's the fact. Right. So now it's like, okay, what can I do now with this new genre? What are my opportunities that I have in front of me? And then I've also got to be real. So let's say this. Here's an example. If you were going to play the part of a wife and you're having a conversation with your husband, weirdly, one of the choices that might be a good one in the audition would be to set your phone down on the counter and have it just facing the ceiling. And then you walking by back and forth and peeking your head over the phone. It's an ugly angle of you because it's like under your chin, right? And you're busy.
But it's real.
But it's real, and it's something that you'd only do in an intimate relationship. You would never do that if it was with your boss or with somebody, right? So you start to think about how do I really talk to people, and how do I talk to different types of people on this device through this medium? And you have to start studying this now, and you have to become, very good at what does it mean to have a camera coming up? Like the way you have the camera set right now is hero. That's
what it's called?
That's the hero angle. That's right. It's slightly up. I just taught it this week.
I need another class with you.
So that's what the future is going to look like. I mean, I know it for sure. I'm a firm believer that we're also going to adapt, and we're going to find what, like, we're adapting. We're opening June 1st. We're very excited to open our doors.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's going to be on a very limited basis. We're going to be very safe. We've got plenty of hand sanitizer, gloves, masks. I mean, we've got it all set.
I know.
You buy a class, you get a
Armored
mask. You know, that's the idea. And we're going to keep virtual going. So the people that need to stay at home, they're going to be able to stay at home virtually. But, you know, we're having like an acting camp very soon on June 1st. And we're just cutting it back. We're going to do half the kids instead of everybody. But just finding ways to move forward. And I think people are going to do that slowly. And my dad's a doctor, and he kind of like helped me understand this. He said, Matt, the world is divided. It was already divided before this. It's still divided now. So 50% of the people won't even wear a mask because they're like, it's not real. And the other 50% of the people won't leave their home. And he's like, the problem is, you know, we need more people in the middle, so to speak, you know, that are cautious and being, you know, respectful of each other.
Absolutely.
You know, but not the extremes, essentially.
Right.
So we're trying to bridge that gap a little bit because we are an educational institution that is also niche, and we keep our classes at a small level where we would fit all of the requirements anyway. So I think it's beneficial, and it makes a statement that we're willing to open and, you know, and move forward, I guess.
Yes. And it truly is a trusting environment. You know, I would feel comfortable having my kids go over because I know it's a very trusting environment.
Well, speaking of kids and camps and whatnot, are you running the Shaved Ice business right now? What are you doing with that?
Right now, it's on ice. Right now, I'm remodeling a vintage trailer.
Yeah.
And it's the beginning, so
what's going on right now? Do you need help with things? Is this what's happening? Like, where are you stuck?
The trailer. I need to get it done. I have a pop-up tent, and it worked fine throughout the year. But now that summer's hitting, it's too hot. It's just way too hot. And I met a couple contractors where they just kind of liquidated my time and my money. We kind of understand the beginnings of contracting, and I'm looking for volunteers that can help me with my little trailer. Okay. Maybe like an electrician, instead of having one person take on the whole project. Maybe a electrician, a cabinetry guy, or a painter. My trailer's a 10x7. It's little, and I have the AC unit on there already. There's a lot I can do on my own, but there's a lot that I can't. So if anyone, you know, believes in the vision and the dream, help us out, because 120 degrees in a pop-up tent is not going to work out.
Yeah. So I don't know about volunteering, but I do know some very, very talented construction people that are individuals in individual areas that you're speaking about, and hopefully they're listening right now, and they're gonna reach out and say, hey, we want to help out. So you know, you might be paying that, but you'll be paying them individually. You won't be paying like a big company that's gonna like upscale everything, because that's, I think, where you're talking about. Sometimes you get stuck on that. Yeah, well, that's cool. I think that's gonna work out for you. I was wondering, so is there no way to do this in the heat?
I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to think, because it is a family business. So when we tried it last year in the summer, and we couldn't. It was too hot for my mom. My mom had open heart surgery about 4 years ago, so she's on medicine, and with the heat and medicine is not good for her.
Well, brainstorm on this. Brainstorm on this, okay? I'm thinking in my mind during acting studio.
Yes.
Hawaiian Shaved Ice. How can we get the kids that come to our camp some shaved ice? Because we need it. You know what I mean? Like, the kids would agree with me that it's an important step.
Oh, I just had a light bulb, which is not, well, I can just set up right outside.
There we go.
You know.
There we go. Where's my applause?
Yes.
Sorry.
I know. You just reminded me of somebody else who asked me
There you go. There you go. So when you find a will, there's a way. And the more you do it, the more you
Yes.
stay active, the more you go get it. You're going to find more
Oh my
opportunities.
gosh.
All right. And the people are going to start coming to you and they're going to open up the floodgates. But we want to hire you. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We want to support
Yes.
your organizations. We want to support your
Yes.
mission.
Thank you.
And we'd like to have you
Oh.
bless our kids with some delicious
Yes.
shaved ice.
You love it. It's so good.
I've never had it, so I am
I'm
selfishly
betting
enjoying
it's
myself.
amazing. I'm betting it's amazing.
Yes. Okay, good. So
It's
that's
a
going to be a
simple
deal.
treat that's so good.
Good. So we're going to work that out, okay? I will have Shay reach
Thank
out to
you.
you directly, and we are going to
Okay.
get that situated. So all you kids out there that are already signed up for camp, hello, bonus. All right, here we go. Well, we kind of answered this. Can introverts be effective entertainers? I think the best entertainers sometimes are introverts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'm an introvert too, actually.
What?
Yeah. You can ask Brian.
It's true.
I feel much more comfortable speaking in front of a room of 1,000 people than being in the room of 1,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
That's
hard. It's hard for me
amazing.
to spark a brand new conversation with somebody. That's the truth.
Wow.
But the thing about introverts, what's interesting is I think sometimes they have to work harder at entertaining, so that sometimes that work
Yeah.
ethic will pay off. Number one,
Right.
and sometimes when you're an extrovert, you have to be very careful of not being attention seeking, because that can actually be negative against you as an entertainer when you're making it
Right.
about you instead of
Yes.
serving. So
Yes.
and I'm not saying all extroverts are this way, but that
Right.
can be one of the
Right.
pitfalls. And the pitfall
Right.
of introverts
Right.
is we just never go out there at all, So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right. And which that's what I'm loving the platform of the video. I was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting me out is a little bit of a struggle. Once I'm there, I'm good, but yeah, just I found myself a lot more effective right here. This is the most networking I've done in a very long time.
Well, I got to give you credit. There's a reason you're on the show, and it's because you were very active and loving on social media. And I've been telling people this. You need to be very specific with your time. You have to protect your time, but be specific about your compliments. Be specific about the
Yes.
way you reach out to people, and if you believe in
Absolutely.
what someone's doing, lift them up. And good things
Yes.
come from that community of people doing that. And we
Aw.
looked into what you were doing, and we're like, well, she's really great. She's got a lot of good things going on. And we were like, hey, let's bring her in. So you're doing a good job of having a presence and being loving in your execution of social media, and that's a really, really good thing.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I didn't know. I was wondering, like, why would he ask me? You just I'm like, how did that happen? I know that
You were very
audition.
intentional. You were very intentional about the way that you were speaking with us, and then you were intentional about the way you were
Well, it
speaking
was
with other people.
genuine.
I know, I could feel it.
It was okay, good. Yes, I'm very intentional. I try to get to know a person, you even through social media. But there's some consistency. There's something that will speak at some point, and I do. I love watching your wife's shows. It's amazing. It cracks me up.
She's so funny. I got to
She's
tell you,
so
the
funny.
world needs to brace themselves for my wife, because she's been supposed to blow up for like 10 years, and she wasn't ready, and God was preparing us in a lot of ways, but I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know when it's gonna happen, but God
Yes.
actually told me this. This is a true story.
Nice.
Before we got married, we were engaged. He was like, by the way, that girl, she gonna blow up, and you need to protect her. That's why I brought you into this thing.
She challenged me with a British accent, and I haven't had the nerve to go up yet, because she did one with a little British accent. I was like, I don't think I can.
Oh, all right. Well, now's the
I
time to start that British accent.
Oh, did I just walk right into something?
Yes,
right?
you surely did. Absolutely. So let me hear.
Sorry.
How is the British accent coming, actually?
It is quite rubbish.
Oh, rubbish is a good word. Yes, very good.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, sure.
I YouTubed it for a little bit and
Right.
learned that English is trash, where rubbish is more is is British.
All right, so my wife challenged you. What happened? I don't know the story. Tell me about this
I didn't do it. Well, it was social media. I was scared. I was just like,
all right, so now you've admitted it. Okay, we brought dark to light. Guess what? You're gonna hang up the phone and you're gonna do it. And as soon as we hang up, you have to jump on there. You got to do it.
Good thing I guess it's a good thing I got my hair trimmed.
That's right. And now you know the word rubbish. But here's the thing. Here's where you're gonna get lifted up.
Okay.
If you go on there and you just go, and no matter how bad it is, and you smile and you laugh and you say like I'm doing this because I had to, because your husband said I had, you're gonna get lifted. People are gonna love you for it. You know what I mean? People love the authentic somebody. They don't like to see the polished, you show me what you think I want to see. It's the truth, and you know it. So
I'm so giddy right now.
You should be. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be hilarious. You got to do this. I don't know. My wife could be watching right now. I don't know if she's watching. Sometimes she watches the show in the mornings if the kids aren't crazy. If she's watching, I should. Leanne, if you're watching, call me right now, because we're gonna put you on the show. I normally have my phone off, but I'm gonna turn it on just in case my wife calls. All right, so we are toward the end here of the show, and I'd like to just give you some more shout outs here really quick. Okay. So let's start with the church, okay? So
yes.
What type of church is this?
We are Christian.
Okay.
And it's I'm like, which organization? Crown Glory Ministries.
Crown. What is it? Crown what?
Crown Glory Ministries.
Crown Glory Ministries. And you're open? People can come in and they can join the congregation, or is it closed? Like how does the church work?
We are virtual right now, and we're trying to figure out where our next approach will be. So for the next couple of weeks, we will be virtual. So you can find us on Instagram at Crown G Ministries.
Crown G Ministries. And is there a website as well, or is it just Instagram right now?
We have a website. I just feel like I need to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning so I can
fix it.
Yeah.
So is your husband giving the sermon through Instagram live or something?
We're doing it through Zoom.
Through Zoom, okay, great.
Yes, and we should do that actually.
You should.
You just have these little sparks of light bulbs that go on.
Oh yeah. No, I do. I'm a little nutso in that way, but I'm always like, oh well, why can't we do that? Let's do it. You
might be my new revelation friend. I have revelation friends.
Okay.
Where when we talk, this thing spark up and happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of them.
These things are happening. I can already feel it. The truck's gonna get finished. We're gonna have ice here for the kids.
We have a ministry.
We're gonna double the viewership. We're going to double the viewership in the next 2 weeks of your husband's sermons. Amen to that. And people are going to be connected. They're going to be drawn to God. They're going to come. They're going to donate to the church.
Too.
And your husband's going to do great work with the money. And so that's all coming your way. I can feel it.
Oh my gosh.
All right. And then if you are like me and you'd like to steal Breezee away to get some of her delicious ice at your business, you can do that. It's called Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice, right? Tutu's Hawaiian Shave Ice. And she's got a website. It is one.tutushaveice.com. Now, was Tutu Shave Ice already taken? So you went with one dot?
Did I put one dot? No.
Oh, it's just tutushaveice.com, right?
Yes.
Because I was like, who already took Tutu Shave Ice?
What?
How many Tutu Shave Ices are there?
Yes. In Hawaii, yes. Tutu is grandma.
Oh, really? Oh, that's beautiful. How wonderful.
So it's named after my mom. It's one of the things I wanted her to have some legacy. It was a bit of a scare.
And this shaved ice, is it her formula? Like, yes. is this her recipe? Or is it your recipe? Like
it's not her recipe. It's a staple of unity, family unit.
Okay.
My mom works at it. She loves it. And my trailer is little, just like her. My mom's like 4'11". She's a little petite lady. So and she has this warmness. She is a bona fide grandma. She is such a great grandma. And so I wanted her to have some kind of legacy. So Tutu, we call her Tutu. Yeah. My kids call her Tutu. So I wanted something to kind of stick. around.
I love
that. So even with the Confidence is Beauty, with the tutu shave ice, my mom is still part of everything. Doesn't matter, her presence will be here.
Yeah.
Regardless.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you're going to be helping a great cause. You can help.
Yes.
You can help out the Morrison family, and you can help out a lot of people just by connecting with them on social media, and go and watch the sermon. It's going to be great. I can already feel it. I think
so. Confidence is Beauty. I have created a curriculum, so I can. It's an 8-week course, and with COVID, we had to change their approach. Everything just kind of. I had a vision, and then now I'm reformulating everything.
Sure. Good. So anybody who's in a relationship like that right now still can find the website, they can get help, they can reach out. There's resources there for them. Breezee.net. Okay. Excellent. All right, and we will we'll have some tags and things like that on our YouTube description, so everybody can find that there.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was so great to talk to you this morning. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
time
today.
Great morning, great day, great Saturday.
Absolutely. You too. God bless. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching Mornings with Matt. Do not forget to please subscribe to our channel. That means a whole lot to us. And then share and like these videos. That means a lot to us as well. We are on a mission to be creating and sharing light-driven content, and that's the way that you can really help us out right now. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.